Hi there, welcome to my YouTube channel. If you are watching my video for the first time, do subscribe my channel and hit the bell icon so that you get notified whenever new video will be uploaded. So in the first part of the lesson, the rat trap, we have learned about the paddler, how he was leading his painful and miserable life and what he used to do to make ends meet, and then how he approached Crofter's house and welcomed by the crofter, and how did he steal the crofter's money from the window, and then he avoid public highway and turn off the road into the woods. So let's jump into the second part of the chapter now. The whole forest, with its trunk and branches, its thickets and fallen logs, closed in upon like an impenetrable prison from which he could never escape. So the rat trap now realized that whole forest is like a big trap for him, and that trap is very scary with its tall and heavy trunks and long branches and its thickets and fallen logs. So everything was like a impenetrable prison from which he cannot come out. It was late in December. Darkness was already descending over the forest. So it was the month of December and it was so dark, and darkness already covering the forest, and forest seemed to be very scary. This increased the danger and increased also his gloom and despair. Finally, he saw no way out and he sank down on the ground, tired to death, thinking that his last moment had come. So to increase the danger, it increases danger means the darkness increased the danger inside the forest, and he became worried and tense as well. So while thinking this, finally he saw no way out. That means he didn't find any way to go out from the dark forest and sank down on the ground or tired to death. That means he was so tensed, worried, alone and frightened inside the forest, and thinking that tonight could be the last night for him. So he will come an end of his life. But just as he laid his hand on the ground, he heard a sound, a hard, regular thumping. There was no doubt as to what that was. He raised himself. As he sat on the ground, very tired and very tensed, suddenly he heard the thumping sound, which was a regular at the time, and he raised himself means he got up from the ground and had gained some confidence, feel somehow relaxed, and got up from the ground. Those are the hammer strokes from an iron mill. He thought there must be people nearby. He summoned all his strength, got up, and staggered in the direction of the sound. So, as we have seen that the paddler had fallen down in the ground, but suddenly he got up because of he heard the thumping sound, the sound coming from the stroke of iron hammer. He thought there must be a people nearby, and he summoned all his strength. Summoned means gathered, and got up and staggered, which means walking with difficulties, and followed the direction of the sound that was coming from the other side. The Ramsjo iron works, which are now closed down, were not so long ago a large plant with smelter, rolling mill, and forge. So now the thought came into his mind that the Ramjo's iron works, so which is now actually closed down not so long ago. It was a large plant, and what was the plant? It was a kind of a factory or a mill, and it had a smelter, rolling mill, and forge as well. In the summertime, long lines of heavily loaded barges and scows slid down the canal, which led to a large inland lake. So he is saying during the summer time, long lines of heavily loaded barges and scows, which means there are flat boat structured. So during the summertime, we can see all these barges and scows heavily loaded with the material, which led to a large inland lake. And in the winter time, the roads near the mill were black from all the coal dust which shifted down from the big charcoal crates. So in the summertime, you can see the bridges and scows filling with these heavily metal, and during the winter time, the roads were fully covered with the coal dust. That means the charcoal burns in the smoke and used to come, and finally the dust used to sink on the roads. During one of the long dark evenings just before Christmas, the master smith and his helper sat in the dark forge near the furnace waiting for the pig iron, which had been put in the fire to be ready to put on the anvil. So that moment was Christmas, and it was December, so it was the time of Christmas. So here he saw the master blacksmith and his helper, and they were sitting in the dark forge near the furnace, and they were waiting for the pig iron, so that the pig iron to be taken out from the fire and can put on the anvil. What is the meaning of anvil here? It's a small kind of frame in which hot iron kept inside, so that the blacksmith can change its shape according after pulling out of it. Every now and then, one of them got up and stirred the glowing mass with the long iron bar, returning in a few minutes, returning in a few moments, dripping the perspiration. Though as was the custom, he wore nothing but a long shirt and a pair of wooden shoes. So every now and then means one after another would go and stir the furnace as if they were mixing up the pig iron that was inside the furnace, and they were come from that place. So they would be fully dripping with perspiration because they were sweating, because they were going nearby the fire, and it would be so hot. And what kind of dress they wore? It would be wearing a very long shirt and pair of wooden shoes so that they can protect themselves from the fire. All the time there were many sounds to be heard in the forge. The big bellows groaned and the burning coal cracked. So in the workshop, so there could be different sound could hear. The sound of the pig bellows. So what is the pig bellows here? That is an instrument that is used for blowing air so that the fire can burn more quickly, so that coal can be break down very easily. The fire boy shoveled charcoal into the maw of the furnace with a great deal of chatter. Outside roared the waterfall, and a sharp north wind whipped the rain against the brick tiled roof. So there was a boy or a helper who was throwing coal into the maw of the furnace with a great deal of chatter. That means he was throwing coal in the mouth of the furnace. So the boy putting back and forth coal on the furnace, and coal was burning more drastically, which was making a lot of sound. So there was a waterfall outside as well, and sharp wind also blowing, which was pushing the water drop to the brick tile roof. So there are many sound coming which were very different from one another. It was probably on account of all this noise that the blacksmith did not notice that a man had opened the gate and entered this forge until he stood close up to the furnace. So here blacksmith was very busy in his work, as the sound were coming from there, and there were different kind of noise also, and blacksmith did not notice that vagabond, and he had opened the door and came inside. That means the painter had been following the sound when he was inside the forest and came at the entrance of the gate. As the blacksmith was occupied with his work at the time, so the painter came inside the mill and stood close up the furnace. Surely it was nothing unusual for poor vagabonds without any better shelter for the night to be attracted by the forge by the glow of light which escaped through the sooty pans and to come in to warm themselves in front of the fire. So as the poor vagabond came inside in thinking that he would get shelter inside the mill for the night. So vagabonds means the people who roams here and there. That kind of place is good for them to take rest for a day or taking rest for one night, as the night to be attracted to the forge by the glow of night or glow of light which escaped through the scotty pans. What is the scotty pans here? The glass window which is covered by the black dust which produced by the coal. The blacksmith glanced only casually and indifferently at the intruder. So when the peddler went inside and stood up in front of the furnace, the blacksmith looked at him casually and indifferently at the intruder. Intruder means someone who comes inside without information or without taking permission or as an stranger. So he looked the way people of his type usually did, with long beard, dirty, ragged, and with a bunch of rat traps dangling on his chest. So physical appearance of the peddler was looking as like a beggar, and he had a long beard and wearing dirty clothes and torn clothes, and he had a bunch of rat traps which was hanging on his chest. So he was not a different from the beggar, as he looks like a beggar. He asked permission to stay, and the master blacksmith nodded a hearty consent without honoring him with a single word. So here the peddler asked permission to stay there from the blacksmith, but he nodded a hearty consent. That means a proud manner, and without saying or asking anything, the blacksmith gave him a permission to stay there by nodding for the night. The tramp did not say anything either. He had not come there to talk but only to warm himself and sleep. The tramp did not say anything, which means homeless person, and he did not say anything in return to the blacksmith, as he has given him permission to stay there. And he was thinking that should I ask him, or why should I speak to him, because his intention was to spend his one night over there. In those days, the Ramjo's iron mill was owned by a very prominent iron master whose greatest ambition was to ship out good iron to the market. So there was a man who owned that Ramjo iron mill, and he was very prominent iron master, and his intention was only to sell out the good quality of the iron to the market. So I hope you liked the video. Let's look at the third part of the lesson in my next video. For more informative videos, do subscribe my channel, like and share. Thank you so much for watching.